Well, hey friends, today we are going to talk about artistic style and how you can find yours. So style doesn't just kind of happen to you and isn't like a gift, but it can be something that can be cultivated, that you can learn how to paint or draw in a style of your choosing. Have you ever looked at someone's art and you're like, gosh, I wish I could paint like that? Well, today we're going to talk about how you can make that happen. It's a really common misconception that art is just talent, raw talent. But actually, art is a lot of hard work, and artists put a lot of time and a lot of energy into learning their craft. And so if you can understand and accept that, this next part will make sense. So every decision that you make as an artist impacts your style. The micro decisions that you make along the way in your artistic journey culminate to produce your style. It isn't something that just boom happens. It's something that takes a while to produce. So every decision you make while creating art helps define your artistic style. So I just thought today we'd talk about a few things that you can do to cultivate a style and to make it happen. Because we want to be able to see a style and be like, gosh, I want to have that as a part of my repertoire. So the first thing is to recognize that the art that you consume will highly impact your style. All right, so what we're gonna do is go to a site like Pinterest or ArtStation or DeviantArt or Instagram and start saving the art that you like. We're gonna kind of create a library of the pieces that we like. Now, hopefully this is something that you've done along the way while you're looking at art online, is that you've kind of been saving it or at least following the people that you enjoy. Now, it's important that you also look at art from the past too, because art goes in cycles, it influences each other. So go to a museum, open up an art history book and look at some art from the past. Now, for years, I've been just saving art that I like on Pinterest and boards. And I've divided the boards into different things like character design, poses, landscapes, things that I like. I try to put them into categories so I can come back and I actually use them for reference a lot as well. Like, hey, I want a character design of a pirate. Well, here's a pirate that I found a couple years ago. Let's use that as kind of inspiration. All right, so the next thing is to kind of document what you like about the art. Is what's kind of drawing you to the art? Is it the line work, the color palette, the subject matter, the character design? There are so many things that can draw us to a certain style of art. And so this is a kind of a way to help understand what it is that we're seeing and what it is that we like about it. We're gonna use this later, so this is a really important step. So for example, I really love the line work of Cory Godbey. I always have. I was drawn to it probably 15 years ago, and I've been following his work ever since. I follow him on Instagram. He had a blog that he did, and I just kept looking at his art, and you can see his line work in my art today. And I think that this is kind of just almost a natural thing that happens when we look at art. It kind of starts to creep into the art that we make. But I specifically like Cory's line work, and so I just figured out kind of what is he doing? How is he creating the line work? What is it about it that I like? So that's going to bring us to our next step, and that's making a master's copy. Now, a master copy is something that we've done in art school where we find an old master and we make a copy of that painting. And one of the things that allows you to do, you're going to glean some of the techniques that master used to create that painting simply by copying it. You're going to understand, how did they put down these brush strokes? You know, is this area, maybe the shadows are thin and the highlights are a little more opaque. And you're going to start to learn that just by actually the act of copying it. What this is going to do is help you understand technique. And technique is what we're trying to gather here. You know, this isn't necessarily a piece you're gonna sell or you're gonna claim as your own, but it's a part of your artistic journey as a student of the arts. And this has been done for generations upon generations of artists who have taken work that has come before us and copied it so that we can learn how to make it. So this master copy that you've done, now we're going to move to the next step, and that's your journey of making art and integrating the work that other people have done, okay? So for example, in your list that you made, if you found line work, and we've talked about Koregabi's line work, okay? So we're gonna take that, and I'm going to kind of pull that portion of his work into mine, okay? Not taking the whole thing, we're not copying it, but we're kind of gleaning that element and starting to produce my own work, but maybe using the line work of Koregabi. Let's say that you've chosen the color palette of an artist that you like. So capturing the color palette of any illustration is super easy. There's a number of tools that will do this. We're gonna use Canva because it is free. I'll have the link to this in the description. You can just click on upload image and then onto this wonderful illustration by Nicholas Cole. He's my man. And it just breaks it down quickly into color palettes that you could use into Photoshop. You could either copy and actually get this color, or you could use something like a snipping tool, grab this and just copy the whole thing, and then just copy this, bring it into Photoshop, and suddenly you have a color palette from any illustration. Super, super helpful. So you see how we're just taking elements of someone's art that we like and kind of moving it into our style. And that's how you create a style. You are gleaning the work of others and kind of morphing it into your own, okay? And this goes back to the idea that every decision that we make as artists, as we're going along, how am I gonna draw this head? How am I gonna draw this nose? What's my line work gonna look like? What's my color gonna be? Am I gonna have really dynamic poses? Like, there's so many decisions that you make. And each time you make this, it's going to slowly refine your style. You're gonna have to do a lot of drawing, you're gonna have to do a lot of painting, but slowly over time, your style will develop. You can't expect this to happen overnight because your style is a journey. The other thing I wanna say is that it's really, really important that if you are a beginner in making art, to not chase your style right away, but learn technique, learn how to make art, and your style will come. If you go right to the style instead of learning technique, you're gonna miss a lot of really important things and really important foundations that will help you make you the best artist you can be. So today we talked about cultivating your style. Now, there's another thing that you can cultivate, and that's your inspiration as an artist. You don't have to just wait for inspiration to kind of land on you. You can actually bring it about. You can cultivate it. And I have a video that I'll link kind of like right here, or maybe over here, and where you can learn more about my approach to having a regular process that I use to be inspired. It's actually really cool. I would check it out. So don't let anybody tell you that you can't produce and cultivate an artistic style. Remember that you are valuable and that you are loved. We'll see you next time.